A Celtics player has been officially named the most hated player in the NBA after extensive social media research. Marcus Smart is not too happy about Ime Udoka potentially taking up a coaching position with the Nets, and amid all this, the Celtics guard has also revealed that he's banged up. Keep watching today's video to find out all the juicy details. First up, who is it? Okay, so if you haven't already guessed, it's Marcus Smart. The three-time All-Defensive first-teamer was named the most hated player in the league after the results came in for a study conducted by Action Network. The media company claims to have reviewed approximately 8.5 million tweets about the league's top 50 players between the beginning of the last NBA season and September 23, 2022. Each tweet was run through a sentiment analysis software to determine which players were the most frequently targeted by negative tweets. The research was also used to determine which players received the most love from fans. According to Action, 36% of the 8.5 million tweets reviewed had a positive sentiment, 46% were neutral, and only 18% were negative or insulting to a player. You know, that's actually kind of surprising considering how much negativity is thrown around on NBA Twitter. Anyway, as we all know, Marcus Smart came out on top with the highest percentage of negative tweets. According to Action, over 40% of the tweets about the Boston Celtics guard were negative. That's definitely got to be a kicker. If you're Marcus Smart, we definitely suggest staying off the Bird app for the time being. Now, does Marcus really deserve the hate? After hearing all this, we know you're probably thinking, is Marcus really that bad? Well, let's lay it out for you. Smart's new title is most likely due to a combination of factors. Celtic fans can get frustrated with his shot selection, particularly from behind the arc. Meanwhile, opposing fans can't be too happy about the way he badgers their teams defensively or is flopping, if we're being honest. You see, Smart has kind of developed a reputation for exaggerating contact, so much so that JJ Redick compiled some of his best flops and showed them to the player during a live episode of his podcast, The Old Man and the Three, earlier in February. Smart, however, found the compilation amusing and justified his actions as strategical. In addition to this, there's also the fact that Marcus can't make it through a season without getting into a fight with someone on the court or being called out for playing dirty, and you can see how this sort of attitude costs him. But despite all this, we don't think Marcus is that bad of a guy. He's the kind of player that does what he's got to do to lead his team to victory, and you can't really blame him for that. In fact, just earlier this month, the most hated player in the NBA made headlines for reaching out to a special needs kid after a video of him getting bullied at school went viral online. The guard responded to a tweet by Dallas Cowboys star Micah Parsons asking for the kid's contact deal so he could help him. See, even Smart has a good side. Moving on, who else made the list? We know that Smart refined supreme on the list, but Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors came in second with 38%, and Bam Adebayo from Miami Heat came in third with 37%, while Trae Young and Jimmy Butler came in fourth and fifth respectively. Most of the top 5 hated players make sense. People despise Smart and Green for their abrasive attitudes and penchant for playing dirty. Trae and Jimmy, on the other hand, are known for riling up crowds during games. But Adebayo is not known for doing any of these things, so we have to wonder why he was even included on the list. Well, one possible reason for the former All-Stars ranking could be that fans want him to be more aggressive, particularly on offense. Now, it's not like he can't play offense. In fact, we think Adebayo has all the tools to be one of the league's best offensive centers. But the problem is, he has only attempted 9.2 field goals per game in his career. Fans are probably hoping that the big man can improve his offense to complement his already excellent defense. Another thing to note is that while Smart received the highest percentage of negative tweets, many other players have received significantly more volume. According to the Action Network's findings, LeBron James received 117,764 negative tweets, while Ja Morant received 107,056. Ben Simmons finished third with 102,340. Former Celtics teammate Kyrie Irving received 72,710, placing him sixth on the list, while Smart wasn't even in the top 10 in terms of volume. Finally, we know who they hate, but who do they love? On the other end of the scale, Action's list revealed that LA Lakers star LeBron James received the most amount of tweets, both positive and negative. Cleveland Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell had the least amount of negative tweets, with only 24% of his tweets being negative. He was followed by CJ McCollum of the New Orleans Pelicans and Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. Kawhi Leonard and Nikola Jokic also made the top 5. Coming up, let's look into Marcus Smart voicing his frustrations over Ime Udoka coaching the Nets. Let's start with why Udoka's coming to the Nets in the first place. As everyone knows by now, the Brooklyn Nets fired Steve Nash after a 2-5 start to the season. Nash even admitted that the players weren't listening or responding to him as much as they used to. While the firing was expected, what wasn't expected was who the Nets would look towards for being the frontrunner for the job. We learned about a preliminary list of candidates to take over for the Canadian head coach shortly after Nash's departure from the franchise. And surprisingly, Ime Udoka was one of the top candidates for filling Nash's shoes despite his year-long suspension from the Celtics after having an inappropriate inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. Many people have spoken out against the move, but whether they like it or not, the Nets will have the final say. One of the people who have given their opinion on the situation is actually one of Udoka's former players, Marcus Smart. Now, what does Smart have to say? Marcus Smart isn't very happy with the news of former Celtics coach Ime Udoka possibly jumping ship to the Nets. He expressed his dissatisfaction with Udoka's potential new role by saying that he was really confused by the rumors of the former Celtics coach joining another team. The point guard was not pleased and had a few things to say about how the situation was handled and how Ime could join another team this very season. Smart told the Boston Globe that there were a lot of people in the locker room who wanted to see him come back once the suspension was lifted. He also voiced his frustrations with the Boston management by claiming that the players have no control over the matter. He also questioned how the front office would react if players tried to persuade them not to let Udoka join another team during his one-year suspension. But despite what Smart has to say, it looks like the Celtics are more than ready to move on from their former head coach, especially given their current record. Despite being under new management with Joe Mazzulla, the C's are doing well, going 5-3 and ranking 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. Moving on, believe it or not, we have even more Marcus Smart news. Up next, Marcus Smart re-aggravates injury. While Smart has played for the Celtics so far, he revealed over the weekend that he is injured. Smart revealed that he tweaked his oblique during the Celtics preseason finale against the Raptors as part of the NBA Canada series in Montreal. While the location was a great idea because it allowed the NBA to reach out to fans who wouldn't normally be able to attend games in person, there was one problem. The court had a lot of condensation issues since it was placed over an ice hockey rink. A lot of players were having trouble dealing with the slippery floor, but Smart ended up feeling its effects the hardest when he fell to the ground, re-aggravating an old injury in the process. After the game, the point guard revealed that he has been dealing with an injury for the entire season. Lastly, should we be worried? Despite his injury, Smart still remains laser-focused on his goals. He's determined to keep pushing forward and take his team all the way to the end. Whether this proves to be a burden on the court for Boston is yet to be seen, but if we have to make a guess, it shouldn't be too bad since it's just a minor injury and Smart has dealt with worse in the past. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Smart deserves all the hate he's been getting on social media? And do you agree with the Celtics star's take on Ime Udoka coaching for the Nets? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.